I am Lauren Mahaffey. I'm with Radio Systems Corporation. We own several different brands. We own PetSafe. We own Kurgo. Invisible Fence, that's actually us, not on the retail side like you guys. And then we also own a brand called Sport Dog, which is more like your hunting gear. So we've been, let's see, go to the next slide. I've actually been talking to doggy style pets since I started in inside sales like 5 years ago. So I'm a little familiar with your company and we're great partners. A little bit about PetSafe. We have been in the business since 1991. And they've expanded their products. They started out with the electronics, but expanded into Premier Pet, which is an acquisition that I came from, and we owned the Gentle Leader head collar, Easy Walk harnesses, things like that. Then they had another acquisition for the Drinkwell Pet water fountains, and at the same time they picked up Scoop Free brand. So those are all, we're kind of big acquisition company looking at emerging markets. About 4 years ago, we added Kurgo brand, which I'll get into in the second part of the presentation, because the trend for vehicle safety was rising, and they're number one in vehicle safety for Kurgo. We are all over the world, global company, but I'll get into our harnesses. I think that's probably you'll have the most questions. I could be wrong about our no pull solutions. The no pull customer is usually a lady. She's urban and suburban, which is kind of your market too. And then what we'd like to do with our harness options is to encourage the pet and parent bond. I do believe that a lot of these products, even though they might not seem like it, keep dogs in houses. So if you're unable to walk your wild dog, he could be eating your furniture, he could be having other problem behavior in the house, and I'm sure everybody on the call knows it doesn't take a lot for people to give up their pets. So I do believe that our products help keep pets in houses. But in particular, harnesses for PetSafe and Kurgo are easy to fit. We don't have a lot of harnesses where you have to shove the dog's arms through the holes or manipulate the dog a lot. Usually the dog can stand on all four legs and you place the harness around them with any harnesses that we carry. That's important for us. A lot of shelters use our products for that reason because you don't necessarily know the dog and it's easier to fit. So for our number one best-selling no-pull solution is the Easy Walk harness. We have a patent on the martingale loop in the front. That loop helps the harness from getting twisted. It also is just three simple straps, which a lot of people like. The belly is in a different color so that you know exactly how to put it on the dog once you get it fitted correctly. If you've seen an Easy Walk harness, you're more than likely you've seen it fit incorrectly. So I'll go over a little bit of the fit, but how it works is that I have a sled dog at the bottom there. Dogs have this thing called an opposition reflex. So if you push on a dog, he pushes back. If you push on a kid, they fall over. So humans do not have an opposition reflex. So when you are pulling on the back of a harness, it encourages the dog to pull harder forward. So when I put in the leash in the front of the harness, the physics turns the dog around. He has to acknowledge the dog walker. The bad stuff that happens is that they just can't go where they were going. So they eventually get a little discouraged by being turned around and walk much better on leash. So for fit, I like the circles where all three straps come together. I like to put my fingers in those, find the dog's back of his leg, go behind that bone, and then go about 2 inches up. So in no way should the chest strap or the back straps inhibit his walking at all. That's not why the harness works. They should be able to have their full range of motion. So the back and the belly, that's that off-color strap, and then the strap that goes over their back should be so tight you can only fit 3 fingers in between the fur and the nylon. And a lot of people are a little uncomfortable with that tightness, but it's the foundation of the harness. If that is loose, the harness could fall forward and agitate their armpits and just like not work as well. And if you think about it like your shoe needs to be nice and tight, otherwise you'll get a blister. So that's the most important part. The chest strap is less important as far as tightness. It could be loose like a fitted t-shirt. It doesn't have to be super tight. But when you move the back and belly straps around, the dog's skin should kind of move with it. And then we have the deluxe Easy Walk harness. It's neoprene padded on all edges. It also has a reflective piping in it. And that's kind of the only benefits of doing the deluxe harness, other than the really cute colors. So I want to stop there. Does anybody have common customer complaints or questions about fit with the Easy Walk? Also, I didn't mention, usually when I do these trainings, if you talk, you get a free sample. So you just let Alex know what you want. It has to be something you guys carry, but you do get a free sample. So try not to make this boring and have people interact. Any questions about the Easy Walk harness at all?
Yeah, we have a question. Common customer complaints include dogs chewing the Easy Walks.
Perfect.
Or that's just a comment, but
yeah, no, that's great you bring it up. So Easy Walk and Gentle Leader have a chew replacement guarantee. You can call customer service and get a replacement harness. I think it is $10 to get a replacement harness. Also, the Easy Walk is not meant to tie the dog out. Like, you wouldn't have an Easy Walk and tie him to a post while you run into a store real quick, because that it's only meant for active walking dogs. A lot of dogs tend to chew the chest strap there, just because it's aggravating them or it's in their way. Like the Gentle Leader prevents them from pulling where they want to go. So I've heard stories where dogs hop into the drawer or hop on top of the fridge where it's sitting and chew it up because they're tired of not being able to pull as hard as they want on leash. I will go to the Gentle Leader head collar. This has been a long time product. It was made by veterinary behaviorists, which means they have a degree in veterinary medicine, and they also have a degree in behavior. And at the time the Gentle Leader was invented, there were only 14 in the whole world. So Dr. R.K. Anderson invented the Gentle Leader. It was entered into the Smithsonian as the top 100 greatest inventions of all time, along with Post-it notes and Velcro, honored for humane dog training. And Dr. R.K. Anderson was big into equine health, so he kind of took what he liked about the horse halter and made it for dogs. So if you can lead around a 750-pound horse by its face, you can certainly lead around a 100-pound dog. So the Easy Walk is our number one no-pull solution, but not because it's the best, like the most effective no-pull solution. It's super effective, but the Gentle Leader is just a bit above it. So if you have a dog on an Easy Walk and your customer complains they're still pulling, I would graduate them to a Gentle Leader. Some people don't like a Gentle Leader because they think it's a muzzle. But if you see, a lot of our marketing will have a ball in the dog's mouth, or he'll be yawning or barking. It's not a muzzle. The way the nose loop sits back, the dog should still be able to fully open his mouth. Especially like in the picture here, there's a loose J in the leash. When there's a loose J in the leash, the nose loop is completely relaxed. So as far as fit, this should be high and tight on the dog's neck. That bone at the back of the dog's skull, it should sit right below that. And then that should be so tight, you should fit one finger in between the nylon and the dog. So if you push on your neck right here, which is where it should sit, not down at the trachea, you can pull really tight and still talk and breathe just fine. And then the nose loop, much like the Easy Walk, doesn't have to be as tight. You just want it to go down to the fleshy part of the dog's nose, but not over. So that's meant to be a little loose. And that little clip at the bottom is kind of only meant to be fit once. You can open it up and move it around if you need to, but you shouldn't have to adjust that very many times.
Hey, Lauren, we have another question.
Yes.
How do you recommend getting dogs used to the gentle leader. Dogs I've fitted in the past try very hard to get it off the first few times.
Oh, for sure. The generator also takes a lot of acclimation. So, what I recommend is about 5 minutes a day for a week where you don't walk the dog, you just get them used to it. So, the video that I've included, and you can go to our website and watch the video for Fit on the Easy Walk or the Gentle Leader. You take the nose loop, you offer a treat, the dog grabs the treat, and that's your first session, him willingly putting his face through the nose loop. And then your second session, you put the nose loop over his nose and just let it rest there and feed him treats. And then your next session, you put the back on and feed them through there. And then you can also, if your dog's very food motivated, you can put it on, feed them dinner, take it off. Or if your dog likes playing ball or something, you put it on, play ball, take it off. So that's to get them associating nice things with the gentle leader. And then once you've graduated from there, when you go on short walks, you just increase your time. But eventually, a lot of dogs get excited to wear it. Guide dogs for the blind exclusively use the gentle leader. There was one other item I wanted to mention about it. Oh, it actually has, and it's not in any of the literature, it has a calming effect on dogs. That bone in the back of their head, right below that bone, is a pressure point. And so the tightness of the gentle leader presses on that pressure point and releases cortisol, which has a calming effect on dogs. So the dog trainers that we employ, some of them put this on their dog when guests come over and their dog's anxious, without the leash. And so the dog calms down while they're in the house. But I also like to, for the first few sessions of using the gentle leader, I like to walk the dog. Well, you guys have sidewalks, so it's not a problem, but don't walk the dog near the grass because they'll drag their face in the grass. If you walk in the road or on the sidewalk, they are less likely to do that kind of behavior. And also, you guys all know, bring high value treats, hot dogs, cheese, stuff like that while you're teaching the dog how to walk on this. But the loose J in the leash is when the dog's walking well. And when the dog pulls forward, the leash tightens and that nose loop closes. So it's a little uncomfortable. And then the dog also turns around. It's a physics the dog can't escape. So when he behaves, the leash loosens again. So you want to make sure you don't put a really heavy clasp on the leash that's always pulling on the dog, or even a retractable leash that's not sending the right message.
Hey, Lauren, we have another question. How do
Yes.
the gentle leaders compare to transitional leads?
Transitional lead. Tell me more about the transitional lead.
Yeah, Serena, do you want to elaborate? Here she goes. Hold on. A lot of the people don't have audio video, so.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm just on my phone, so it wouldn't come up. The slip leads, the transitional leads are similar to slip leads, just with an additional attachment that you pull the lead further through, so it creates another loop that you put over the dog's snout.
I think we used to sell something like that, where we called it the Wonder Walker. So it's a continuous leash that goes over the nose and the neck.
Yes, exactly.
I think what we didn't like about the old one that we carried is that the fit wouldn't be perfect, or at least ours, the nylon was also puffy, so it would get caught being in the tight position on the dog's nose. And dogs, I'll go on this with another product that we're about to present, but the dog gets a clear message when that looseness happens. When he stops pulling, your loose leash and then the nose loop immediately loosens, so they learn quickly what I'm doing has a direct correlation to what happens to me. I don't know if the transition.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. The
for the exact same flexibility on the nose and mouth itself.
Yeah. And then this is
go on.
a bit easier to fit. And I think you all know it should have a V for the gentle leader, and then the easy walk should be a T. If it's a Y, your chest straps too loose. So V for victory and a T for terrific. We also added a padded nose loop many years ago, and that's our marketing with the dog with the tennis ball in his mouth. We used to have really dorky pins you could wear that said "not a muzzle," but we don't do that anymore. So when making a decision between the Easy Walk and a gentle leader, you're not going to want a gentle leader for a brachycephalic dog. They don't have enough nose to support that strap, unfortunately. Also, with gentle leader, you can help prevent barking while on walk. So if your dog's really anxious and fence barking and things like that, you can tighten the leash and shut his mouth while you're walking if you wanted to. I don't know many people that use it for that purpose, but it certainly does do that. And then it says helps manage behavior problems like fear, anxiety, and aggression. And that goes into a little bit of what I was talking about with the pressure point on the back of their head. There was another thing I wanted to. Okay, so with the Easy Walk, the medium large size is your most popular size. And the boxer here reminded me of that. Dogs with broad chests are going to wear a lot of the in-between sizes that we carry. There was another thing I wanted to say in regards to that. If you see the Easy Walk flipped upside down, where the belly color is on the back, that's okay. As long as your martingale's in the front, you've got it. The flipping it upside down does help with some of those deep-chested dogs, like a boxer if you really had to, but especially with like a dachshund or a bulldog. Questions before I move on from Easy Walk and Gentle Leader? Okay. So the 3-in-1 harness doesn't have the same brand recognition. Like the other two are #1 recommended by veterinarians and trainers and dog shelters. But the 3-in-1 is kind of a lot younger. So we came out with this guy probably 5 years ago. And if anybody on the call has used it, it's a lot easier to fit. However, it does have, 6 different straps. So your average customer sees that and glazes over. But a lot of staff and people who have experience fitting harnesses prefer this harness. It has more features. It has the martingale loop on the front. For front leash attachment is a back loop for back attachment. There's also a slight handle on it for quick traffic control, which is important like when you're walking on the street and you run into other dogs and people. And then the trying to find a good picture, maybe this middle picture. The martingale loop's on a vertical strap. So for your bulldogs and those big chested dogs, it doesn't matter with this harness because it's a vertical strap versus a horizontal strap. So it's like 80% of the dogs you fit are probably going to wear a medium. We had 100 dog walkers walk with the Easy Walk and walk with the 3-in-1. They thought they were exactly comparable as far as a no-pull solution when you put one leash on the front. But you guys also carry a 2-point control leash, which is a double-ended leash with snaps. You can put a snap on the front and a snap on the back. There's a swivel at the top of the handle, so it self-rights like kind of like a kite. So the dog walkers said that was the extra help with this harness versus the Easy Walk when you do a double strap. And then also this harness comes with a car control strap. So you can tether your dog in the car or you can go on walks. And it's also padded just like the deluxe Easy Walk harness with the reflective piping. So a lot more features and I think quite a bit easier to find the right fit for your dog. You can also adjust the top part up high like a collar. You can put it down low like a regular harness. So just a more tailored fit. Any questions about the 3-in-1 harness? Rear care lift harness. It's not like a really happy product. This is for disabled dogs that have trouble getting around. There's a lot of lift harnesses on the market. I like ours the best because it stays on the dog. If you have a serious dog injury with the dog where they can't get up the steps, can't get in the car, can't get around to go to the bathroom, this is padded, and you can use the bathroom while holding it, and it doesn't get nasty. It's also machine washable, but the handle for the human is padded, and then all the straps that go underneath the dog is padded, so it has a really nice fit and stays on the dog. And that's, if you don't already have that, it's on your newest order, but you guys might have had it already. Questions about the rear lift harness?
Lauren, Josh, back to the 3-in-1.
Yes.
Do you recommend a 2-point lead for the 3-in-1 harness?
If you're using one leash on the front and your dog's consistently pulling still, the double leash it will help be more of a deterrent for pulling. I mean, if your dog's still pulling after that, I really would suggest the gentle leader if they can do the training for it. I think you've carried the spray bark collar in the past, but at Global, you guys picked up more, or at least some of these, and it was Howard's vision to not have these behind the counters anymore. He wants to put them on shelf. So it's a citronella anti-bark collar. It has perfect bark technology, which is something PetSafe patented, and what that means is it detects the vibration of the dog's vocal cord and matches that with the sound of a bark. And once those two things happen, it dispenses a lemon-scented spray. So if you have two dogs and one dog doesn't have a barking problem, the other dog barking is not going to set your dog's collar off unnecessarily. They are rechargeable. We switched, if anybody's familiar with the older version, it was a can of aerosol spray that you depressed, but this is actually a cartridge that you use each time. It's a lot more tidy and works more effectively than the previous version. And then these collars are rechargeable. So the spray doesn't hurt your dog at all. It's just meant to distract them. So they're focused on the mailman and they're barking, and the spray happens. They can hear it, they smell it, they see it. It's supposed to go out in front of them, not in their face. Not that it would hurt them if it goes in their face, but that's not the point. Some people think it's spraying on the face. That's not the point. So it's just to distract them from whatever they were barking at. I added this quote from the Australian cattle dog owner. I was a little surprised by it because when I was in customer service, the herding dogs were the ones who sometimes they were so ingrained in barking that they did not care about the spray. There is a bark guarantee on the spray. So if the dog does not stop barking, maybe they're in an apartment, maybe they're going to get evicted. Like I said earlier, stuff like this keeps dogs in homes. So the dog knows what's setting off the bark collar and it'll spray. So the bark guarantee, if the spray isn't doing it, like say it's one of these herding dogs or somebody, then you can call customer service and upgrade this product into a static bark product, which would absolutely work on any dog. But this is the more gentle version, and it does work for a lot of dogs. Any questions about the bark collars? Okay. Cat harness. I think my whole next section's on cats. So the cat harness is in our top 14 SKUs. I think it's the best harness on the market. Most of the reviews mention the bungee leash that comes with it. So the bungee leash warns the cat she's coming to the end of her leash, and then the top here has a little stopper that gets tighter and tighter as she pulls, so they can't back out of it. And then also they don't get that strong bounce back like if they ran to the end of the leash. It's all like warning them that in slow increments that they're coming to the end of the leash. So you get a cat that's a little bit more confident on leash. And then also we did the same thing we do with the Easy Walk for that off-colored belly strap, because your cat is losing patience with you the entire time you're putting this on, more than likely. But any questions on cat harnesses?
Hey, Lauren, we had another question on the previous slide
Okay.
for the anti-barking collar.
Yes.
Does the spray end up on furniture, floors, etc.? Like, is it a fine mist or is it?
It is a fine mist. It's a lemongrass oil condensed with air, but it doesn't stain. You don't feel a residue, and it dries pretty quickly.
Okay.
Also, I should mention, when you buy the collar, it comes with one unscented spray and one scented spray. Dogs don't particularly like that citronella smell, so it tends to be an extra barrier to get your dog to stop barking. But it gives you both options depending on your household and what you want to do. Good question. Okay, fountains. For a while, you guys have carried our ceramic fountains. They're super nice. These were invented by a veterinarian. I like all the backstory of why things came to market. So they were invented by a veterinarian to help with kidney and urinary tract infections. The ones you've carried in the past are like the super nice ones. They retail for like $100. We came out with these cat specific fountains that are on your next order if they're not already in the store. And they are outselling the previous versions. So this one is a 60 ounce, the stainless steel, it's a 60 ounce fountain. It's easier to clean than plastic, and it's going to retail for about $53. The butterfly on the right here is outselling any fountain of any brand in any store it's in, which might be a little surprising, but there's a butterfly on top. It has 4 spouts. You could take that butterfly out and make it a bubbler. It is lower price point, so I think it's like $29 suggested retail, but people just love it. And we're coming out with more quirky cat things because of that, the success of this product. Now the one in the middle comes in 3 sizes. I believe you guys have the 2-gallon. I don't know if you're going to carry that one anymore, but you did bring in a new order of the 1/2 gallon, so a smaller fountain. What you may not know about the one in the middle is that you can take the top off where the waterfall is. There's a lever in there. You can cut the water completely off. You can make it a slow stream or the full blast stream. So cutting it completely off, there's still circulation in the basin. And then if you have a timid pet, you can do a slow stream and graduate up to a stronger stream. Or if you want to go to bed and you don't like that sound, you can cut it completely off. So the movement and then the charcoal filters all make it more appetizing for dogs and cats. And then the necessity of a fountain, you need 1 ounce of water for every pound your pet is. So it just encourages them to drink more water. And then all of these fountains have the same filter, so you'll eventually get to stop worrying about which filter goes to which fountain.
Yeah, Lauren, we had a question about that. How often should the filters be changed, number one, and do you have to use PetSafe branded filters?
Okay. So with one pet, generally you can wait 30 days before you replace the charcoal filter. With more pets, you'll have to replace it more often. The fountains will run when there's no filter in it, so it's not like your dog or cat's going to be without water when you haven't had a chance to purchase a new one. And then there's a pre-filter on the outside of the motor, which is like a plastic sponge type material, and that thing you only need to replace like every 3 months. You can wash it out in the sink really well and put it back. And then as far as putting another filter in there, that would jam it up. I hear quite often that, my fountain's not running anymore. And somebody at PetSmart said, shove another filter in there, it should be fine. My friend told me that. But yeah, I would use the PetSafe brand filters if you're going to use a filter and need a filter. And then so there's a year warranty on these. They can call customer service to get a replacement. Whatever your return policy is for doggy style pet, I fully support it. So if you take one of these back, I do credit or give a replacement for them. The pumps inside, this is the number one issue with these guys. If the pump dies, more than likely it's because the fountain has run out of water and it was just churning air, which is not meant for the pump. But that's not a big deal. You can buy a new pump for $15 from our website or customer service. And then, trying to think there was another one. No, I think that's all. Questions?
Yeah, more questions are coming up. Danny says her cat chewed the cord shut on one of the water fountains. Do you guys sell replacement cords?
Yes, I believe when you get a new pump, they send you the cord that goes with it too.
All right, there's more. How effective are the filters? I know a lot of water brands say the water needs to be pushed through in order to be effective.
Every bit of water that's coming through the spout on these do get pushed through a charcoal filter. It's supposed to be a high quality filter, but it's not like we partnered with Pure or anything. It's just a coconut charcoal filter.
And Serena also asks, when are the other cat designs going to come out for the fountains?
I will have new cat toppers for the butterfly fountain in the fall. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but they are making new little ornaments for the top of those.
Amanda, in regards to the cat harnesses,
Okay.
she is wondering if they're better than the other cat harnesses. Obviously, you're going to say yes, but she says I have a lot of customers that are concerned that their cat will be able to get out of them.
I do not have that issue with this harness. I've heard very few people say their cat's able to escape. I wouldn't say it's zero, but maybe 2 in my 14 years with the company. 2 people have said their cat has been able to get out of it, and I was in customer service for a long time. So it's a very effective harness.
And just a comment for me, a lot of people think that you have to have this to, take your cat out for a walk, but you really could just use it to like hang out on your porch with your cat and have them in restraint.
Absolutely. That's what the majority of people are doing with their cats. Anybody on the call who trains cats knows it's very tedious. So we do have some cool videos of cats walking down the street, but most people are just chilling, letting their cat have some outside time and protecting the birds, because cats decimate bird populations. And there was a TikTok in 2020 where we ran out of harnesses because of the TikTok for cats, which I thought was kind of interesting, especially because we didn't plan it. It just kind of happened. Okay, litter. You already carry these 2. You've had the 2-pack of crystal litter for a while. I don't know if this disposable temporary litter box is brand new for this last order or not, but this is an organic crystal litter. If you open it, you'll notice that it is bigger than most crystal litter. It's not a fine powder or anything, and that's on purpose. The circumference area of the grains make them more absorbent. So with this pack of litter, with 1 cat, is a 2-month pack of litter. So they say with 1 bag, you should have 1 month of litter for 1 cat. So I think it retails for like $24 or $29. It's about on par with most litters, but crystal litter is lighter weight, which is kind of important for you guys if people can't get to their car in time. It's 5 times lighter weight than a clay litter. And then also they're 5 times more odor preventing than a clay litter. This disposable box comes with, 7 disposable scoops. These little things at the bottom here are scoops, and it comes with 1 pack of litter. So if you have people going on vacation or staying in hotels and they need a temporary cat box, this thing does pretty well. I know it's cardboard, but the bottom is lined in plastic. Any questions about these 2?
Yep. How does the mess with crystal litter compare with clay litter?
It's less tracking, so it's 99% dust free, and it's harder to track outside of the box. And I'll show you on my next slide. I think I put that in there.
And what is the crystal made of?
It's an organic quartz, so it's just a rock. It's a type of, it's not the same silica that's in your shoes. It's totally different. It's a different type of silica. Oh, so I'll show you this slide and then go back to, so the automatic litter box, this is our number one product across anything we're selling. We have a lot to sell. The automatic litter box you aren't going to carry. You're just doing a test of the replacement trays. And this brand's called Scoop Free. I don't know if people are coming into the stores asking for this brand, but we've done a lot of marketing on it, and it's our number one product. So the litter tray goes into the automatic litter box. The automatic litter box has a motor, and when the cat jumps in, it waits 20 minutes. That whole time, the crystal litter is absorbing the waste. And if you think about what makes waste stink, it's the moisture. So a totally dehydrated poop outside does not stink, but a fresh one certainly does. So that 20 minutes is taking all the moisture out, the rake comes through, and everything's pretty much dry, so your rake stays clean versus getting really nasty with a clay litter box. And then it stores all your waste under this dark gray tray here. Under this dark gray, it lifts up. And with one cat, you only have to touch your litter box once a month because everything's so dehydrated under there that it reduces its size. And then when you're done, you pick this thing up, throw away your tray, and get a new tray. The tray itself, or urine, eats at plastic, so you get a whole new bottom of your tray every month, so that helps you reduce odor that way. There's an Astro frequent buyer program on these trays. For every 5 you buy, you get the 6th one free. And then this, on the previous slide, the 2-pack here, there is a permanent tray that you can use underneath the automatic trays and put these into. So some of your customers who are already buying this might already have a Scoop Free, or they're just using it for their at-home litter box, because you can put it into any litter box. So that automatic system costs about $160 retail. If people don't want to make the jump to crystal litter, you can suggest that they try the litter tray first, which is like $29, $24 to $29. Questions on this one? This one's a complicated one. Does anybody have customers coming into their store asking for Scoop Free? Or does anybody on the call own a Scoop Free box?
Nothing. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is highly rated, so definitely look forward to those coming in store. I think you'll see them move in pretty quickly. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Okay, so the automatic litter box also has an activity counter on it. So when your cat jumps in, it'll tick how many times they go in, and you can use that at the vet office. My cat's reduced her bathroom habits or increased, or you'll know that whether you need to replace your tray or not. Some people have like a magic number. When this gets to 60 or when it gets to 40 or something, that's when I know to replace the litter. Okay, dog toys, we do have a pretty cool warranty on these. If your customer buys this and their dog chews it up immediately, they can call customer service at our, not you guys, call our customer service and get a different toy within 45 days of the purchase. A lot of the toys that you carry have these treat rings with them. They're a minced rawhide, which means we put rawhide in a blender, blended it up, and then pressed it back together. So we don't have the digestion issues. What causes those digestive issues is the flat sheets of rawhide. So dogs like the flavor of rawhide. This is the way they can have it safely. And then our toys focus on, they are super tough. Like if you have a tough chewer, I would recommend this bouncy bone at the bottom. Always go up a size for a dog that's a tough chewer. Make it a little bit bigger than maybe you think they should have. That way they can't tear it down as quickly. And then we focus a lot on alternative ways of playing. So a lot of our toys are oddly shaped, so they bounce and roll. The kibble nibble's my favorite because I had a pug that ate his dinner too quickly. This will hold up to 2 cups of food, and then it has 2 holes in the bottom that the food falls out of. It has these prong rubber fingers that you can snip and make it easier for the kibble to come out, depending on your size of your food or your dog's interest in playing with that. Questions about toys or the rawhide rings?
The rawhide rings are on frequent buyer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. It not buy 9 get the 10th free?
I'd have to look that up. I can look that up right now.
Probably is.
You can just go ahead and move on while I'm looking up the number.
Alright, so the cat toys, you guys have had the bottom 3 for a while. I think the top 2 might be a little bit newer. The laser cat toy tail, if you haven't seen it, rolls around on the floor, creating a random laser pattern. It also always backs away, like a mouse would run away. It never comes at the cat like a weapon. It always backs away. It does not detect the edge of the steps, though. It will go down the stairs. The Zoom has 2 lasers on it. It's for it's supposed to be for a multiple cat household, but it really doesn't matter. It's just two lasers. It's super silent, while the laser tail rolling around on the floor is a little bit louder. So depending on your cat's temperament, you might choose one over the other. Slim Cat, this ball, is very similar to the Exerciser. However, the Exerciser's oblong or like egg-shaped, so it won't roll all the way away from the cat, and it's also the #1 veterinary behaviorist recommended toy for cats. So you can easily close the windows to make it easier or harder depending on your cat's level of interest or the size of the food you're using. And then you can close every hole and put catnip in there if you really wanted to. So it's supposed to incite the cat's prey drive, make kittens more active, make fat cats work for their food. And then the fishbowl isn't adjustable, but it's weighted on the bottom, and it's more of a cat behavior. So they put their paw in and pull the food out. Any questions about the cat toys?
We had a question about the Busy Buddy toys.
Okay.
Would you recommend for high energy dogs that won't settle down and basically destroy everything?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. The whole point of the rawhide rings is that they take a while for the dog to chew. I know not every dog's like this, but my pug would literally take 30 minutes to get them off of the toy because their faces and they're just not survival dogs. But then there was a guy at work who has a Australian Shepherd, and he said it took about 12 minutes to get the rings off of the bouncy bone. Some of these make it harder to get the treat rings off of, like this corn is similar to the bristle bone that you guys carry. It has these little brushes. It hides more of the treat ring, so it's a lot harder to get the treat ring off, so they're going to spend more time with it. The penguin here, you can freeze chicken broth, or you can freeze goat milk, or whatever, even peanut butter. And that'll make it take longer for your dog to get through because they end up licking that hole and stuff. Okay, so Kurgo is it's been around, a brand that's been around for a while, but it's fairly new to PetSafe, and you guys recently reinvested into it, so you have more Kurgo products than you usually do. And if you think about Kurgo, something important to remember, it's all about quality and like gear for your dog. So if your customers are wearing Patagonia and Columbia and all that type of jazz, they also want their dog to look the same, and they also have that kind of gear mindset for their dogs too. It's a lifetime warranty, which kind of speaks to the quality of the products, but it is kind of in 2 categories. One, they have travel safety excellence, and in the other category, it's outdoor adventure, hiking, running, active person gear. So I'll start with car safety. You guys have a few of these enhanced strength true fit harnesses. They're in a little box. We're going to start marketing them on a hanger, and I do expect David to maybe reinvest when we get the hangers, because PetSafe thinks that we'll have a 30% lift in sales once you're able to actually touch the product versus being in this hard to access box. But I'll tell you about it so you're prepared when you get more of them. The harness here is crash tested, certified by the Department of Transportation. So it has to be resistant up to 3,000 pounds of pressure. It has a nesting buckle. If anybody goes hiking, you'll know what that is. So it's a metal buckle that goes into another metal buckle, and that's what's holding it. So it's not a quick snap closure, and that's just because it needs to be reinforced for crashing. It comes with a tether, and it is also a really nice looking walking harness. It has a leash attachment on the front, leash attachment on the back. PetSafe also has a crash tested harness, but it's a little dorky looking, a little like hall monitor looking. So this one's a lot nicer looking for everyday walking outside of your car. The number one item Kurgo sells is this tether, this direct to seat tether. It goes into your seatbelt buckle, and then you can tether it onto any harness you'd like. It doesn't make that harness crash tested, but it will prevent your dog from climbing in your lap. There are a few states that require your dog be harnessed in the car, and it's actually not for the dog's sake, it's for yours. So if the dog becomes a projectile in your car crash, it keeps them from hurting people. But I think that there are going to be more legislations about keeping your dog out of your lap and tethered in the car. So these are very popular products for us. Any questions on car safety?
Just to circle back on the frequent buyer program, I was finally able to get the details. So for the Busybody rawhide ring refills, you guys actually are offering buy 4, get 1 free. So that's one of the better programs that we even offer as far as how many you have to fulfill.
And we usually say when somebody buys a Busybody toy, they get 7 packs of rings. So they buy the toy, they buy a pack of rings, and they'll come back to your store to buy the other 6. And that shows you how long the Busybody toys last. They're at least durable for however long it takes to get through 7 packs of rings. And you get repeat business, which everybody loves. All right, so Kurgo bench seat covers are unique because they're lifetime guaranteed. They are a little bit more expensive than the other ones you might be familiar with, but they do not rip for the most part. And since they're lifetime guaranteed, if they do rip, you can call us and get a replacement. I had this picture here because these little anchors go in your seat crack, so they do not move on the seat. They stay in place. I've got a 4-year-old, but when he was younger, he would jump in and out of the car, and the seat cover did not move, so they are super secure. And then they have slots for the seatbelt buckles and a simple quick snap to put over the headrest. Questions about seat covers? I know it doesn't sound that exciting, but they actually are really high quality stuff. The hammock covers are our most popular seat cover because you kind of get a 2-for-1. You get a barrier to the front seat, and it also protects the back of your seat, your floorboard, and the back seat from dog hair. It also comes with those anchors so it doesn't move easily. And I have this picture here to show you. You can unzip it and sit on one side. So it's not like you've closed off access for your kids or passengers to ride in the back seat just because you have a car seat hammock. There's plenty of space. Okay, so now we're kind of getting into the outdoor adventure gear portion. I personally have been in stores and heard a lot more new COVID pet parents anxious about their dogs. They're a little overprotective. And And I've heard a lot of them say they're worried their dog's going to bust out of their harness. That's not the reality from my experience with our harnesses, but this one looks a lot tougher. And when I suggest it to that person, they usually get it and feel really secure because it's under that lifetime warranty too. So it has a aluminum clip in the front, aluminum clip in the back. You can do on the front, it helps with pulling a little bit. If you still have a pulling issue, I would suggest the PetSafe, but a minor pulling issue, Kurgo should be fine. And then it has the back attached leash for regular leash walking. It has a really cool handle on it for quick traffic control. It's just a lightweight, tough, gear-centric, handsome harness. And you guys brought it in red, black, and blue. Any questions about this one? The dog backpacks. This is our #1 Instagrammed item out of everything we carry. You have the red and the black already. On this new order, you're going to have navy and this kind of ice blue. It's a really pretty color. Something you might not know about the backpacks, they carry 25 pounds a dog, which is more than most dog carriers. You can flip them on their side and use the handle to carry them like a regular carrier. And when you do that, the backpack straps will fold into a pocket back there. If you want to carry them like a backpack, there's ventilations on the side, underneath this handle, and where the dog's head is. And you can completely close them on or not. Selfishly, my favorite part is there's a substantial section for your junk. So you can put your computer in there or whatever you need to do, go backpacking or just around the city with your dog. And then I had this picture here because the bottom is about 2 inches thick Armasol bottom, so it makes it TSA rated. In order to be TSA rated, you have to kind of have a trough in case your dog goes to the bathroom or spills its water, which is gross, but these are all TSA rated, which is a really nice marketing point. The dog backpack on the left here is a little bit more metro, less hiking gear centric. Something I left out about the hiking G-Train. There is an extra pocket in there that'll hold your camel pack bladder for those who hike. Don't know if that is, but this one's a bit more metro. Any questions about the carriers? Okay. Is that the end of my presentation? I guess it is. All right. Any questions from anybody? I do appreciate your time, and let Alex know what you want for your sample. It has to be a product you already carry.
Yeah, I'll send out a Google form to everybody, and I could send over, if you want, like an export of everyone's comments, questions on the call.
Cool. Thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate your attention.
Lauren, thanks again for all your expertise. I think this is always super helpful because there's always tons of questions about harnesses. So.
All right. Thank you.